Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/MaliciousCompliance. In today's episode, as long as you work here you have to work that weekend. Lady uses sushi as revenge from her husband. Sure, spend $300 plus to save $4. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. As long as you work here you have to work that weekend. Many years ago I worked hospitality, friendly local bar, good staff, locals and management. All in all a pretty good gig. My girlfriend at the time was studying about 5 hours drive away and was an ex-workmate at the same bar. We'd worked together over the summer and then got together once university started. Our local sports team had a game coming up in a couple of months playing in her city. It was always a big party night in a student town, so I decided to get tickets and take the weekend off to spend time together. Duly put my leave request in, and with 6 weeks to go this was accepted by management. Everything was looking good for a great long weekend away with her. Nearly a month later, on a Thursday, 15 days out from the big event, my boss came to me and said as he had decided to attend the game he was canceling my leave and I would have to do closing shifts over that weekend. I argued he had accepted my leave. I already had tickets and had also booked accommodation for some sweet after-match interaction, so this wouldn't work. This was when he uttered the statement in the title. Cue malicious compliance. I instantly saw the solution, literally grabbed a napkin off the bar and wrote my resignation out under his nose and handed it to him. He refused to accept it. I informed him that it would be foolish to not have cover for me starting in 14 days as that was my notice period and I was going regardless of whether he accepted or not. Outcome: I had a marvelous weekend away. He had to work that weekend as he was unable to replace me, and when I bumped into his wife a week after returning home she told me he had been slammed on game night, and they still hadn't replaced me, and eventually asked, could I come back? We agreed to a meeting time and had a good chat about things, and I got offered my old job back with another $1.50 per hour thrown in. I ended up working for him another 4 years with no drama after that. I've read many stories in /malicious compliance, but yours is the first where the boss swallowed their pride and actually got the worker to return. Congratulations. Having worked as a tradesman all of my life, there is something I learned. I tell my employer when I'm going on vacation and when I'll be back. Boss, I'm not authorizing your vacation. Me, I'm not asking for permission, those are the days when I will not be at work. I had a coworker who once said the legendary words when he wanted a day off to attend a concert, but our boss didn't want to authorize it. It stuck with me ever since. I am going to attend that concert. What we are talking about at this point is whether you want me to come in ever again or not. Yup. This is how it should be. I'm not asking permission. I am doing you the courtesy of letting you know when I will not be available. Boundary is a magical thing. It only exists when you believe and stand by it. Lady uses sushi as revenge from her husband. Quite a few years ago, I did a sushi class in a culinary school. It was for enthusiasts, but it wasn't your average basic class. It lasted 1 week, Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. We learned everything from rice making to filleting the fish. It was really cool. After 2 p.m., we typically ate the sushi we prepared with the professor, or, if you had to leave, put it in a recipient and take it with you. There was this lady, let's call her Mean Sushi, who didn't stay to eat the sushi, and she didn't took it either. It was rather odd. Come Friday, last day, during a mid-morning break we asked her about this, and she told us that the class was her final act of MC against her soon-to-be ex-husband. She said something like this. I hate sushi, I can't stand it, but my husband loves it, it's his favorite food. I'm a stay-at-home wife and I've cooked for both of us every single day we've been married. Husband has always been very vocal about me not cooking sushi for him, and whenever we go out, it typically is to a sushi place and I have to have whatever is on the menu that's not sushi. Last time we went out to a sushi place with friends, one of the friends asked me about this sushi thing, and my husband replied, "Oh, she's not that into it, but I'll bet she'd grow into it if she starts eating and cooking it regularly." I've told her several times about this sushi class that I wanted her to attend. I'm pretty sure that, if she understands how it's made, she'll end up loving it, and I said yes for the first time, and God knows how many times he's asked me to take the sushi class. He was ecstatic, and on the way back home he told me, "I knew that, if I insisted enough, you'd finally see my point." What he didn't know is that I've already filled the divorce papers, for several reasons. They're being delivered today. And I intend to post photos of myself making sushi and gorgeous homemade sushi dishes for weeks once I leave the house until the divorce is over. This is as cold as the fish in the sushi. Taking a course in a food you hate, to then wave it in someone's face as you leave them forever. Very malicious, very satisfying. I would never have the will to do this, but I admire people who do that. They make great stories for us. A little lower on the petty scale, when someone I know makes me mad or does something that inconveniences me and it's not worth rectifying, I eat a food they don't like. When my commitment-averse ex got engaged to the woman he left me for, my roommate brought me a shamrock shake because she knew he hated mint. And it tasted so dang good. Sure, spend $300 plus to save $4. My employment involves fairly regular travel. My employer has pre-approved rates with hotels, but occasionally due to availability that rate may not be available. In that case, you simply get individual approval from a high-level supervisor for the increased amount. I had to travel when there were a number of events going on, so our approved rate wasn't available. I made multiple calls to the hotel, as it's one I've stayed at frequently. They agreed to drop the rate to just $4 above our approved rate. Great, I emailed my direct supervisor and the person I needed approval from. Shocker, my employer wouldn't approve the higher rate. They informed me that I needed to obtain the approved rate, and suggested I stay at a place I was nearly guaranteed to get bed bugs. Wasn't going to happen, but they told me just to find anywhere that would accept our rate. Cue malicious compliance. I called another hotel in a touristy area nearly 2 hours from where I needed to be. I stayed at this property frequently, and they were more than happy to meet our approved rate. The kicker, because it's in a high-demand location, the approved rate was nearly double the rate of the previous hotel. Additionally, my meal allowance was also significantly higher. The most costly part to my employer is that because I now had a 2-hour drive one way, they had to pay me 4 hours of overtime on top of the other travel costs. I ran my plans through my direct supervisor, who just laughed and gave his verbal approval. Because everything was at the approved rate, it was all approved automatically. I enjoyed my amazing dinner with a great view. I've had similar with approved hotel chains. Wait, you want me to book this hotel, instead of another hotel 1/2 the rate, and 5-minute walk from the client, so I'd have to rent a car, just to have an approved hotel chain? Yes. Forwarded that to the CFO, the travel company's contract was up for review and it was not renewed. We have an equally idiotic hotel policy. We must book through our agent, who books hotels through someone else. Why, you might ask? Because the third-party booking gives the company a 10% rebate. Slang for kickback. So often we get to the hotel and find a much better one across the street. We go in and ask about rates, turns out they are sometimes much cheaper than the booked one. We cannot change hotels, our agent and CFO will blow a gasket if we do. We can get written up and even fired if we do it anyway. Turns out the kickback goes directly to the CEO. I worked at a company that had workers travel and stay at motels in order to work at landfills and other hazardous cleanup sites. They had such a problem with drinkers being caught in the company truck, they began making sure there was a liquor store or bar near the motel within walking distance. One guy drove to a bar, got very drunk, and on the way back to the motel, he stopped at a gas station to buy cigarettes. He locked the keys inside the truck while it was running, and walked the few blocks left to the motel. Didn't show up for work, slept through his alarm, and when the morning shift came on at the gas station, they called the company name on the door of the truck, and corporate called the local supervisor to go get the truck with his spare key. It was still running many hours later until the soup showed up with the spare key. When I traveled, I was told, here's your flight, here's your hotel, both are prepaid. When you get back, submit an expense report for luggage fees, travel to from the office, and food. I'd hand in a neat pile of receipts sorted by date and input the total into the expense report system. 2 days later, direct deposit for the entire amount, and as a bonus, I got Amazon points. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.